Okay then.
Okay, okay.
Okay then.
Okay, okay. It's the okay then.
Okay then.
Okay, okay.
Okay then.
Okay.
Okay then.
It's the okay then.
Okay. Okay.
Welcome to the OK Den Show. I am Titia Owens, the Madre.
And I am Chyna Elizabeth, the daughter. Hey, y'all, welcome back.
Hey.
Hey.
We're going to get right into it today. We're going to talk about somewhat of a serious subject matter and have a little fun with it at the same time.
Yes.
But we want the mothers to really take in this information that we're going to share. And it is, how do you give your daughters dating advice? That's a question we're asking. How do you give your daughters dating advice? And we're going to have some suggestions for you all today. We're going to share with you all the answers that we think that you all should take into consideration. And again, just remember, these are our thoughts.
Yeah.
We forever pray and get direction from the Lord on how we should go about answering these questions. And we have somewhat discussions about them prior to the show, and we did today as well. So again, this may not be your belief, but if you are a believer in Christ, this is how our family believes. So just want to make sure I share that up front.
So good.
And I want to start with Chyna. The first thing I believe is you should know your worth, your value, right?
I feel like that's so true.
And when we talk about knowing your worth, it is, having a sense of knowing who you are and understanding that you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness in any relationship, okay?
Yeah.
I don't care what relationship you're in, you deserve to be treated with respect. And I believe the foundation of that child or that daughter knowing who she is the foundation of the parent and how she trains that child up. For me, I trained my children in the fear of the Lord.
Yeah.
I trained them in knowing who they were in Christ, who Christ was to them, and how he loved and adored them, as well as found her beautiful and gave her scripture references to affirm what I was saying about her and what the Lord thought about her. Do you remember those instances, Chyna, or was my voice important?
For sure. I do remember those things, and it's so crazy now that I am older. I mean, because you hear them when you're younger, but you don't really have the relationship for yourself to know what that really feels like and to have the fear of the Lord and to really live in that way. So being older now is kind of just like, you don't go for nothing, okay? Because you are very rooted in that, and that's the firm foundation. So it's like, if you're not in that realm, if I don't feel like you're up to par with the worth that I see God has and sees in me, it's like, we don't have nothing to talk about. And so back then, when I didn't really know how much all of that meant. All of that meant, it was just kind of like, I can put up with anything. I could do with anything. I didn't really know what my worth was. I didn't know who I was. It was just kind of all up in the air. No good foundation there. And it wasn't that you weren't telling me. It's just I didn't really know it for myself.
Got it.
To take that into account. But it's definitely the only way.
Yeah. And so you would say with maturity then,
for sure,
came you understanding who you were.
And grow my relationship with Christ.
Right.
It doesn't have to do it. I mean, yes, maturity, but it's more of just building that relationship with Christ.
Okay. I love that. And so parents, that is a big deal too, that we as parents, our voice is very important. And a lot of times parents don't like to have these conversations with their children for whatever reason. But I found it to be very important to make sure that my children, if nothing else, they were going to hear from me,
Yeah.
my thoughts and my direction and who they were, and then just a thought process of what dating was even going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And so communication is the next thing. I was just saying, yeah, did y'all hear that little side song? I don't know where that came from. But
I just, that just resonated.
Resonated.
Yeah.
It resonated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Resonated.
No, not resonated.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We need to communicate with our children. That's what we need to do. And the children need to communicate with their parents.
Yeah.
So I would suggest to parents that you create safe spaces to have these conversations with your children. What I used to do with my children was sit them down in the den. My children didn't have televisions in their room on purpose. I purposely didn't put TVs in their room because I wanted them to have to come to the den to be entertained, whether that be through television, conversation, whatever it was. And so when we would sit in the den, I would have conversations with them and I would allow them to freely share with me thoughts or concerns, whether it be talking about boys or, my son talking about girls. I wanted to make sure that I created that space. Now, whether they took advantage of it or not was on them, but I made sure that I shared different experiences with them and nuggets for them to live by to help them make wise decisions when it came to dating at some point in their life.
Oh, for sure.
So I made a safe space to. You remember those times we did that?
I definitely remember those times. Was I open at those times? No, I was not. I didn't want to take the advice. I didn't want to hear what she had to say. But now that I am older and we have grown the relationship that we do have, I be coming to her about everything. Because it's just like, give me some insight. Tell me. Because I just don't want to be in something that I don't have to be in. And I appreciate that. Because it's like, she has wisdom. She's gone through the things that I'm now going through. She lived this life. She dated. She had all of that experience. So it's like, I'd rather hear it from somebody and learn than try to go through it and mess up.
So what changed you, Chyna? What made you finally get to that place? Because it took you a minute.
That was a lot of Jesus. It was a lot of Jesus. Because I feel like if it was just me, I would probably still be there. I would probably be like, who? What? Why I gotta listen to what you said? And, because I feel like we all human. Like, we all go through stuff. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's good to have guidance and get the wisdom that you need. Because at the end of the day, God can speak through your mom. God can speak through your guardian or whoever you're talking to give you the direction that you need. So.
So how frequently do you communicate now with me?
We talk every day, all the time.
I know. I'm asking for them.
All the time. Now, at this point in my life, I am not dating. So, ain't much to talk about in that aspect. But when I was, we would have those conversations.
So, Chyna, when you and your brother were children, how did you all appreciate the frequent conversations that we had? Or did we talk frequently?
Yeah, we did. I appreciated it a lot because it was a foundation for me in our relationship now.
You got candy in your mouth.
We both do.
But go ahead.
And it helped me to be more open now because I know that I can relate to you. You told me some things. You were transparent with me, and we could have those conversations, and you wouldn't condemn me or like make me feel anything. So it was just good to know that I could talk to you about anything. I didn't necessarily then, but now it helped.
Okay.
Be the foundation for now.
So it builds a solid foundation. That's what you're saying?
Pretty much.
That is so wonderful.
I thought so too.
And I will say that parents, set those times and places where you can get with your children and have conversations where you're being very transparent. You're training them up as a child in the way they should go. For them to consider talking to you on a regular basis, because you have to show yourself available. You have to be intentional about building that relationship and that trust for them to share about the different situations that could possibly come. And so with that being said, we want to make sure we set boundaries. Setting boundaries is key in any relationship. And the reason why you want to set boundaries is because there are people that try to force their, not just physical body on you, but their thoughts or their aggressiveness or what they feel should be happening in the relationship, where you may be saying, I just want to really get to know you as a friend. I really want to talk to you more, learn more about you. And their mindset could be, we can fellowship physically at this point and we can talk later. So you have to decide what those limitations are going to be. And you want to make sure someone isn't disrespecting your discomfort. In other words, if you're uncomfortable with something, you don't want to do certain things, and they're pushing themselves to cross those lines, those are red flags.
I agree. It's definitely important, and to go ahead and set those boundaries really, really early and ahead of time. Let people know what your stance is. What are you wanting? What is it that you're wanting to do? How you want things to go? The boundaries, if y'all are being not so fellowshipy, we not finna be together at certain hours. We not finna be on the phone.
Intimate.
We're not finna be on the phone late at hours where it can go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's just like setting those different things and boundaries of knowing like this is where the line is and sticking to that. Being firm on that.
Standing on what you want. And again, goes back to knowing who you are too, because once you know who you are, and you know what you believe, and you have goals of where whatever relationship you're going to have in the future, long term or what have you, it's clear on what you will and will not do. And a person can tell if your no means no and your yes means yes. You can't don't mix. You don't want to have mixed signals where you're saying one thing and doing another. So you want to make sure that there's a mutual respect. You build that mutual respect and that there are healthy boundaries. And like I said, if you're telling yourself or telling them that we're just friends, but y'all are out together to wee hours of the night, you're alone, you're in places that can cause different emotions to arise. And that's the thing about us. We cannot always trust ourselves to make the wisest decisions, knowing that we're doing things that are uncomfortable for us. So we have to go ahead and know, I don't think I want to do that. So let me go ahead and say no now, because I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm testing my own self.
Need to run.
Run
from
on.
temptation.
And you have to respect his boundaries too.
For sure.
Because sometimes it's not always the female. It's the male that may have boundaries. And so you want to make sure that if they're saying too, I literally just want to be friends. I want to get to know you. I want to find out who you are. Respect that on both sides.
That has made me think about a time.
What had happened?
I was not trying to listen to a boundary that this guy I was dating was wanting. I'm like, why are we not talking on the phone all the time? And he didn't like if I like blew him up. I didn't care. Because why are you not answer the phone? And that became an issue because I would do it all the time.
So you were wanting to cause him to do what you wanted, which was talk all the time, but he was saying that wasn't necessarily how he wanted to communicate.
Exactly.
Y'all hear that, ladies? And you hear that, parents? Like I said, sometimes it can be the daughter as well that is doing the pushing. So she was disrespecting his discomfort. And that's what we're saying we don't want to do. It's okay to take it slow. It's totally okay with that.
For sure.
We're okay with that. Okay, so we're going to move along to mutual respect, which is what we were just saying. That is mutual respect. That is listening to what the other person is saying. You know what I always question is, as I'm going to speak from the Christian perspective, as Christians, when young people are getting to know the other person, just say, for instance, you're getting to know another believer and you're saying you want to date them. We never care to see how they serve. We never care to see what they're doing in the Lord already. We hear about, we'll let them tell us they go to church. We'll let a person say that, but we really don't find out what commitments do you actually have with the church?
Where is the fruit?
Yeah, what are the things
Where
that
is the
communicate
fruit?
you're a Christian to others without you saying it?
Yes.
And you want to really pay attention to who they really are and not just saying who they are. Because again, we are good actors and actresses when we first meet a person because we want them to see the good in us and we want them not to see flaws. But in actuality, we need to see who the person truly is. And you need to be able to discern and know what that looks like. But again, that comes from being able to get godly wisdom, being trained up spiritually, and just talking to wise people that can give you some direction, not always following what you think you want to do because our emotions are so all over the place.
They are.
So we definitely need to have our parents involved so we can talk to them and get some direction.
That's so good. So good.
So good. Okay. All right. So peer pressure is another factor.
Okay.
I remember when I was in high school and I was interested in this guy and his friend knew that his friend was interested in me, but the friend was older. The guy that liked me was older. And I remember his friend saying to me, you know, he likes you, but y'all are probably not going to be together because you're not like the older girls. You're not doing what the older girls are doing. I was like, what are the older girls doing?
Right.
I didn't know what that was, but he was saying to me that the older girls were willing to do what he asked or be with him if he wanted to be with them. And I just was too in the green, very naive at that point. I didn't understand what that even meant. But I was trying to figure out how to be like the older girls. When he said that, it made me want to know, well, how do I become like the older girls?
Yeah.
If that's what he's interested in. And I liked him. And I was trying to figure out, well, will he like me if I'm like the older girls? And those were the things that I didn't have discussions about. I didn't talk to anybody else about it. And it gets you in trouble when you don't talk to another person to find out and get the answers that you need. I had those questions, but I didn't ask anybody.
Right.
And I was too immature to make a wise decision on what that even looked like. So you have to teach your daughters how to deal with peer pressure. You have to teach them that they don't have to submit to what someone is pressuring them to do, that their friends are not the final say-so.
Yeah.
And it doesn't determine who they are. It doesn't determine their worth by following what their friends are saying. Now, again, they have to know who they are. And you have to equip your child to be clear on firm no's and understanding what that actually means, because you don't want to she doesn't want to put herself, or he doesn't want to put himself in a position where they can't get out of because the friends are pressuring them.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I was just trying to think about an example of peer pressure. I don't know if this is really peer pressure or just trying to be like
in the group doing, or what, being liked.
So basically, it was me and a friend, and there was this guy she was dealing with, but he was like an older guy, just a little bit older. And then the guy had a friend too. So we were going on like a boat ride.
Okay.
So I'm just there trying to be there for my friend, but the other guy is like trying to deal with me, trying to talk to me and stuff like that. And it's not necessarily peer pressure, because I didn't want, like, I was not talking to him. Like, I was not dealing with him at all. But it was just like, how did I end up in this situation? Because I didn't really want to be on the boat. I didn't really want to be there. But it was just like kind of peer pressure of just being there.
Supporting her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hated that. I hated that experience. But it was like, you got to be there for your friend.
So what could you have done differently?
I don't know.
You could have said, I don't want to go on this trip. Let's not do the boat ride. Why don't we not do the boat ride?
Yeah.
You just didn't feel comfortable in saying that?
Yeah, because I mean, we was there. It was like, I didn't want to be like a Debbie Downer, like messing up the mood.
But the mood was for them.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't have to be here. I really, and I don't like water. So, and it was late. Like, we on the water and dark at nighttime? Y'all are crazy. And then this man is trying to talk to me. I don't want to talk to this man. It was just too much going on. And I was just like, in my mind, Jesus, how did I get here? So, I mean, it's a kind of a peer pressure thing, but it was just like, oh.
Well, it could have turned out differently.
It definitely could have.
It could have been even more negative. Because again, you allowed yourself to, and I'm just saying, these are the consequences of not standing up. And saying no.
Right.
Thank God it didn't go as bad as it could have, but you were with a stranger.
Yeah.
Two
strangers.
You were with your friend. Y'all were out on a boat in the middle of nowhere or wherever
Joe Pool Lake.
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere. And you know, you don't know what his response would have been.
No, for sure.
Like you don't know if he had anger issues.
Praise Jesus, he did not.
If he had issues with someone saying no, rejection, and responsiveness to that could have been totally
could have been a
different.
different situation for sure.
And so that's what I'm saying. You have to be even careful with the friends because their lack of not knowing who they are as well, and you putting yourself in that situation, even though you knew you didn't want to talk to the guy or any of that, out of the friendship that you had with her, that still was somewhat of a peer pressure in the sense that you felt you needed to go with her, but you could have just said, we're not doing this. We're not doing, and just gone ahead and been a Debbie Downer, because if something negative would have really happened out there, you would have been like, I could have said no, and I didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I definitely learned never do none of that I don't want to do. It's just, it could have been a simple, like you're saying, it could have been a simple, like, I don't want to go, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be on the boat, you know, but it was just like, weird. But I learned, I'm never, well, I don't want to say ever, but I pray that I am never put in that situation again. And I, you know, that was a different time. I was younger. Now, I don't have a problem saying, I'm quick to be like,
yeah, there's healthy support and then there's unhealthy support.
For sure. And me and that friend are not really friends anymore. So it's like, I don't surround myself around people that would be putting me in that situation anyways.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Don't get on boats with your friends that you don't want to be getting on a boat with.
Yeah. So supportive or nah? That is the question. Yeah, of your relationships with the friends as well as the person that's trying to date you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on.
We should.
We talked about this a little bit though, but let's deal with safety first.
That goes good with that one.
Yeah, so we're gonna make sure that you are prioritizing safety. This includes being mindful of your surroundings, like Chyna just talked about, having a plan for getting home safely, and knowing how to recognize and respond to potentially dangerous situations. Responding to potentially dangerous situations. Now, I remember when I was in high school, I had gone to a college with a friend of mine, and she met a guy. Well, she knew this guy. And again, like Chyna was talking about, she had another friend that liked me. And he was in college. I was still in high school. And I think I was probably a freshman in high school. So here this older guy is in college. And, you know, he was cute and all that. But although he was cute, I was not interested in any boy that was there, anything that was going on there. I thought we were just coming to visit the school. My mindset wasn't, we're going to meet somebody. I'm going to learn about a boy there. Like, I knew nothing about that at the time. And I just remember her saying, well, we're going to go ahead and go to the dorm and you're going to ride with him. And because I trusted her, I did ride with him. Now, he happened to be very respectful. And he has shown himself to be very respectful. But I just remember looking back at that going, why would she put me in that position?
Mm-hmm.
But she already had a goal to see her friend at college, the guy that she was trying to see. But it was kind of like I was a tag along, so to speak. So she needed to kind of remove me out of the situation. And I didn't have a plan B because I was we were in a whole nother city.
Right.
Like I didn't know anybody there. Wasn't anybody I could call. I wasn't with other family or anything. It was just her.
Yeah.
But I just remember thinking to myself, if I have to run out of this car, I was looking around at the doors and looking at the locks, how the car door moved, that kind of thing, how you got out, the handle and all of that. Thinking if I had to make an escape, I was planning that in my mind, riding in this car. Now, that didn't happen at all that way because the guy was very respectful and he was very nice. He took me back to the dorm just like that. But again, it could have gone very different if he had a different motive and a different mindset.
For sure.
But I remember thinking, I got to get this plan together.
Yeah.
If something happens. And we do have to have those thoughts.
No, for sure.
Happening with us, especially if we're in a different environment and in a different place.
Yeah, I would definitely say I am very, very, very much aware. Like, I make sure I'm paying attention to my surroundings.
Not on your phone.
Not on my phone. When I'm walking, I'm looking straight ahead, looking confident, not looking like I'm lollygagging and trying to figure something out. Like, I do that on purpose all the time.
Yeah.
Now, I do live life a little bit on the edge, but when I do, I make sure I know what's going on around me.
Yeah. No, that's very good.
And like, even when like you're in Ubers or something like that, I'm making sure I'm looking at the GPS just like he looking at it, making sure we're going the right way. I don't want you making no wrong turns. We going where we supposed to go, and that's just it. I am always that friend. Even when I'm with my friends and stuff, I'm always aware if they're getting intoxicated and stuff like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
Y'all not aware enough. Y'all ain't paying attention. Who is that? Like, why you over here? I don't be caring.
Yes. In other words, you're paying attention to your surroundings.
For sure.
And, you know, again, when you are in a relationship or dating someone, all those things you have to pay attention to, even outside of the dating relationships, like you said, the rides, the cars that you get in, the different people. Safety first is key in any situation. You could be going to meet someone.
Yeah.
But just making sure that you're being mindful of it all in every area. But especially, like you said, getting in the car with somebody even that you're getting to know. You know, letting people know where you are or what you guys are doing. I always say just keep the communication to the parents, letting them know what's happening. I think sometimes we feel like because we've had one or two conversations with a person, oh, they're so nice. He's appearing to be so kind, that we automatically start trusting quality time alone with that person. But that's sometimes where you can learn the boundaries being crossed with possessiveness. You can learn that someone can cross the lines of causing you to be having the discomfort again because you're not necessarily ready to do certain things. And instead of saying no, you have to make sure that you are clear about what you're wanting and what you're not wanting. And we want to make sure that you are not dating without a purpose. We discourage that, you know, we are not promoting dating without a purpose.
Yeah. I feel like when I do date, if I see something and I know you're not my husband, there's nothing else to talk about. I'm immediately cutting you off. That's just where I am. I don't want to waste time. There's nothing to talk about. Like, why am I giving you my energy?
Yeah. And I think, too, that has come from maturity because I know, and I'm saying that because there are so many women, even in their older ages, wanting the affection, the attention, the affirmation.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't stand firm on their morals and their values, their likes and their dislikes, because they're just wanting those things. And you can start out being confident and knowing who you are, but it's so easy to take your eyes off of Christ and focus on what the flesh wants to do,
Mm-hmm.
and you let your guard down and you start doing things that you long-term regret.
Yeah.
So I would also say pay attention to what's happening in the relationship. How fast is this moving?
Yeah.
Am I feeling good about this process that we're going through? Do I need to slow it down? And one of the things I was saying too, when we meet a person and we find out they're a Christian, and this is me being a Christian,
Mm-hmm.
we don't always watch to find out how they're serving,
Mm-hmm.
how they're connected to a church. What are they doing at the church? They, a lot of young people say, oh, I go to church. But in actuality, that means nothing because they're just physically attending.
Where is the fruit?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Where's the oranges and the apples?
Okay.
Meaning, how do we see your walk with
Yeah.
Christ? What do other people say about you? And most
Yeah.
people don't have that conversation. They just go by what a person says and they believe it. But, when we go to a restaurant and we eat food, we get the reviews most of the time. If it's our first time, we want to know what other people say about it.
Yeah.
We want to know about the experience they had. We don't do that when it comes to dating. We just like, oh, he cute. He nice. He makes me feel a certain type of way.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't actually try to do the research
Right.
and find out about who that person is.
Mm-hmm. I become a real good detective.
Mm-mm.
If I like you,
Mm.
I'm gonna do my research because I want to know what's really going on, what's really happening. Because like words sound real nice, but if the actions ain't adding up, you gotta go.
So there's a rumor that you have a liking to Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, if you're watching, my daughter
Oh
follows
wow, this is interesting.
My daughter follows you, Jordan Poole. And so I want to know, what research have you done on Jordan Poole?
I do a lot of research because
What have you learned?
I learned that he is a lover of Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
That's first and foremost, because if he wasn't, I wouldn't care about Jordan Poole.
Mm.
He's a great basketball player. He's
A basketball
player. He's tall. I mixed my words up when
Is that
I
what,
think
when you
about.
start talking about Jordan
when I
Poole,
think
you
about
get all
Jordan, it's
tongue
like,
twisted?
oh, wait a minute. Anyways.
Yeah.
He's very kind.
Mm.
He loves kids.
Mm-hmm.
He loves being with his family, taking care of his family.
Okay.
All that. Like, he just has a great personality. All of that.
Mm.
Good things.
What do his friends say about him?
He keeps his friends real close, and he got friends from high school. So I feel like that's a good sign. Like, he is good with his relationships with his friends.
Mm. You feel like that's a good sign?
Yeah, right?
Okay.
Ain't it good to keep friends from...
It depends on the kind of friends they were
For sure.
in high school.
For sure. But I think, yeah.
Okay. Well, we got a little more research.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know the
Jordan
man.
Poole.
So, like, I can't go all the way. But from
Of
what I
course.
see, from what
From
he
a
puts
distance.
out there,
Mm-hmm.
it's giving good.
Okay.
It's giving good.
Okay, so to all my researchers out there, I want y'all to check on Jordan Poole and let me come back.
Oh,
Come back to me and
wait.
put it in the comments. Tell me what y'all think about this Jordan
Okay.
Poole. How about that? We're
That's
gonna help.
funny
We're gonna help my daughter
that they
out.
brought him up like that.
Mhm.
I love that.
So
Though.
constant communication as you grow up. How about that? As you grow and mature, you should have constant communication, because it doesn't matter how old your children are.
Yeah.
They're going to always need to have that wisdom and guidance around them, because, again, we're always parenting. It never stops. And we want to make sure that if there is an opportunity for them to date or get to know someone, you want to be involved in that, in the sense of, again, giving them wisdom in the process. I'm not telling you to tell them what to do. It depends on how young or older, how old they are, how mature they are as well. But if they're coming to you too for the wisdom, make sure that you're available to give it to them.
That just made me think, though, there should be some boundary there with your relationship. And when it comes to parents, the parent don't got to know everything. Like,
What What is everything?
Because, you know, relationships should still be sacred. There should still be some things that you only deal with your partner.
But you dealing more with a husband.
You're right.
We're
We're
not dealing with a husband. I get that. But when you in a dating field,
right. No, you're right. It's better
it's
to
open game.
Yeah, to get wisdom and
For
guidance
sure.
for everything.
Because the thing about it is you want to know as much on the outside of marriage what the potential future holds. And so sometimes we need to have people, not sometimes, we need to be in your business because we need to know how we can assist you in the process.
But still in a healthy way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
not
still
overbearing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But again, you have to know your parents. Like, you have to know the relationship that you have with your parents. I would say, I'm not a person that's overbearing, but I am going to say how I feel.
For sure.
I'm going to
And I appreciate
definitely
that.
be honest. I'm going to tell you my thoughts. At the same time, though, I still let you make your final decision.
For sure.
My job is to give you the wisdom that I see and know.
Mm-hmm.
And I trust that because I've raised you the way that I have, that you understand how to break those things down, how to determine what I'm saying or what I mean. And that if you have a question, you will come to me and get clarity on that. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I just wanted
accountability
to
though is key. Accountability is huge.
I just wanted to make that, clear.
She's trying to push me out her business. That ain't happening.
I love that. I love being in my business.
Oh,
I love you being in my business to a certain extent.
Yeah. Y'all heard that certain extent. She's trying to push me out.
Not
going nowhere.
Never. But yeah.
Well, Chyna, I'm going to say that I'm forever going to be supportive with boundaries. The supportive with boundaries just meaning that I understand that I have trained you to make wise choices.
Yeah.
And my role is just to provide guidance, with God in mind, knowing that there's a foundation there. And so I'm okay with being in your business. I'm okay with getting information about Jordan Poole.
Yep.
I'm okay with watching how this all unfolds and just being here to support you.
Yeah.
That's what
I love that.
I'm okay with.
I'm okay with, us keeping the boundary of not being in the relationship. And I'm okay.
Well, who not being in a relationship?
You being in my relationship.
You okay with the boundary?
Yeah, of you not being in my relationship.
I just want to say.
And I'm also okay with Jordan Poole. Hey, Jordan. Yeah. I'm okay with it all. I'm so okay with the wisdom and the advice that you give me. I love that.
Thank you, daughter.
Yeah.
I just want to affirm.
See,
I appreciate
last week
that you allow me
to
be in your business. I appreciate business minding of yours.
We're going to end on that though. So yeah, you can subscribe, like, and comment. Make sure y'all see us every Wednesday at 9 a.m. on YouTube, and you can listen on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. So make sure you all are liking and comments and telling us how you have given advice to your children on dating in this time, because it's totally different now opposed to then. So just giving that wisdom. Let us know some of your tips. Tell me, because
we love that. Thank you guys for tuning in each Wednesday at 9 a.m. on YouTube. Follow, like, and subscribe. We are so grateful for each and every one of you. Please comment. Let us know anything that you can on Jordan Poole. With that being said,
okay then. Bye then.